guys, Ishin from Caesar Media here. In today's video, and probably for the next few days, I'm gonna be getting into the block of the LS6 engine. I'm gonna be working on it so I can increase reliability and performance, especially if you're doing road racing like I will be with this monster. Before I talk about the car real quick, I just got a new gear for filming. This is actually a rubber tripod and it can flex and bend and hook into places that you can never imagine with the regular tripod. Another thing I'm gonna do is hook it up on the bottom of the DSLR and do like a vlog at higher angle. So now it looks like I'm a professional vlogger. Look at that. I'm gonna start doing this in car meets and car shows and racetracks too, so you can kind of get an idea of what everything looks like from far away. Alright, but anyways, let's talk cars here. So if you're road racing your car like I will be with this LS6 FD, one of the most critical components to building a car is oil control. You want to make sure that when you're going around corners at 2Gs or whatever you corner at, or if you accelerate or brake really hard, that the engine has full capacity of oil, because otherwise you're gonna start seeing excessive wear and tear on your components, valve train, your pistons, all that stuff. So oil control is very, very important. So if you look here, I have removed the crankshaft pulley and the timing cover basically. And the reason why I did that is because here is the oil pump on the LS6 engine. Stock oil pump works fine if you're driving your car on the street, but obviously I'm not doing much of street driving. So I got the Mullins Performance Oil Pump. This unit will essentially increase the oil pressure of the oil pump so that you're getting more oil sucking up from the bottom of the pan up into the valve train of the vehicle. Now there is high volume version, high pressure version, and high volume and high pressure version. You want to get the high pressure version if you're going to be road racing like I am, because if you get the high volume or high volume and pressure version, you're gonna have to make modification to the timing cover, which is this piece right here, because the oil pump itself will be slightly larger than the stock oil pump. This is the high pressure oil pump and it is the same size as the stock oil pump. Over here I have the ATI super damper. This basically reduces the vibration that the car will be seeing at higher RPMs. It looks like I have to build this piece, so I will review that later. So here's the stock crank pulley, and it is mounted with this big bolt that goes in and into the crankshaft right here. What you want to do is just take your impact and remove this crankshaft bolt. Once that's out, the crankshaft pulley will be just sitting in there, and in order to remove that, you have to get a crank pulley puller tool. You can get this from your local auto store. I got this 648616 model. What you want to do here is it's quite a clever system. You got two push rods. You want to grab the long one, put it in, and you want to grab a bolt which has a hole in it, and the hole would go inside the rod you just put into the crankshaft. And this is a cool little piece, this spider leg piece. It's got 3 little hooks on it. Now obviously you gotta imagine that the crank pulley is on the car. You wanna mate these holes, these hooks, to these tabs. So you got 1, 2, 3, right? And now it's ready to be pulled. Now all you have to do is run this bolt through here, and what it would essentially do is pressurize the push rod and pull out the crank pulley. Really simple, really easy to do. Just go to your auto parts store. You can rent these out for free. what I like to do before I start tearing apart the timing belt and camshaft and all that, I want to make sure that it's at top dead center, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Once you remove the timing belt cover, which is easily done by removing these bolts, there's like 7, 8 of them, and there's also 2 that goes right into the oil pan here, one on the right, one on the left. Just undo all that and it'll pop right out. Now once you remove the timing chain cover, which is easily done by removing these bolts, and 2 on the oil pan there, 1 on the right, 1 on the left, going vertically, UV exposed with the timing chain, the camshaft right in the center here with 3 bolts holding it in. These 3 bolts I'm going to be replacing with ARP bolts, which I'll be showing you later. But to set top dead center, there's a mark here on the bottom. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's a little indent, and on the crank side there's also another mark, an indent that indicates top dead center. And also on cylinder number 1, it'll be top dead center. So what you want to do is just spin the crank and make sure that these 2 indents match. And also you can do the screwdriver method, put the screwdriver in a spark plug and make sure that at top dead center down here that the screwdriver is out all the way. So essentially as you spin this, the screwdriver would go into the block as piston drops, and then it'll come back up as it becomes top dead center, and it should essentially go back down if you keep going past the top dead center. So that's how you know that the piston top dead center is matching the crankshaft top dead center and camshaft top dead center. So now I'm gonna go ahead and spin this and make sure everything at top dead center. And after that, I'm gonna be removing the oil pump by undoing all these 4 bolts. You can see now that the indent is matching up with the marking on the crank side. You see that little circular spot there right here? You want to match that with the cam side, and it's top dead center now. What a surprise, we already run into a little issue here. So essentially the oil pump obviously hooks up into oil pickup tube, which I gotta show you with this flashlight here. So the oil pickup tube, this is tube right here. So the oil pickup tube gets mounted to the oil pump from the bottom. But in order to get the pickup tube out, it seems like you have to drop the oil pan, and in order to drop the oil pan, I might have to drop the subframe. So that's why I think I'm gonna start with removing the steering rack here. And to be honest, I feel like it would have been easy if I just pulled the engine out of the car with the transmission and painted the engine bay and did all that and dropped the engine back in there. But as you know, my garage isn't that big, and that's the reason why I haven't pulled the engine out. It's gonna be a little tight to do that. So next up, I'm gonna be disconnecting the steering rack, power steering pump and all that's already going anyways, dropping that and trying to see if I have enough clearance to drop the oil pan. If not, I'm gonna have to drop the subframe, or maybe I might still try to pull the motor, or at least lift it up a little bit so that I have enough clearance there. Okay guys, I was gonna remove the oil pan, but I realized that I need to remove more than just the steering rack there. It was still in the way, and I realized that I had to remove the subframe. So basically what I did was I took off all the bolts for oil pan, so it was just kind of hanging there loose, and I was able to lift up oil pan on the transmission side, and it gave me enough clearance on the oil pump side to get the oil pump off. I got the oil pump off the pickup line and just slid that thing right off. So now it looks like this. And with the oil pump off, you can now see the top dead center mark. See the mark there on the bottom, the little circle piece on the gear up top, and then another circular indent on the gear on the bottom. So now what I'm gonna do is take off this timing chain, because LS1, stock LS1 and LS6 timing chains are a little weaker than the LS2 timing chains. I know a lot of people upgrade to like the double rotor timing chains, but I heard the LS2 timing chains are a lot beefier than LS6 ones. So I'm gonna order LS2 timing chain and pop that on there. But for now, I'm gonna remove the cam bolts, which are these 3 bolts, and then remove the chain, remove the cam plate cover that's in the back here to see what cams are in here, because till this day I wasn't really sure what cams are in this motor. So I'm finally gonna figure that out, which is gonna be great information to for my tuner when tuning the car. Now, if you guys are building LS engines, this camshaft plate here has a gasket inside, and this is one-time use. So make sure if you replace your camshaft that you also replace this bracket or this mounting plate.